Just like I decided to fuck up from the very beginning. Hi, my name is Erin Love, originally Irina Lovova. That's my real name, by the way. And I want to talk to you guys about the decision I've made recently. And this decision is about releasing music, releasing my album that I promised to release, that is called The Immaturity's Atrocity. It's not gonna be released. What do I want to start with? I've had a really weird way in social media because I've promised to put out something great, put out some great cover on Zemfira or maybe on something else from the autumn 2020. That was the first time when I went like, yeah guys, something great is coming. Spoiler, something great never came, because that something great was cover on fucking Zemfira, and I never finished that cover and never filmed a video in the end. I feel extremely guilty about that, and I want to explain why. I've always been that one academically successful kid, that one nerd that always had a plan from the very beginning of their life. And I've always known that I wanted to become a musician. I've known that since the age of 3, I would say. And if you don't know my story, in my senior year, I went homeschooling instead of graduating from my lyceum and going to university, applying to some of the best universities in our country and some of the great foreign universities, because that was never something I wanted. So here's the editing me. Many hours after shooting the video, and it feels like I need to mention something. So disclaimer number 1, my long monologue about people pleasing, about how my decisions were very controlled, how I didn't love my life until the moment I started focusing on music. Sounds a bit like I blame everyone around me for the shit that I did in my own life, but the truth is that I'm prone to blame myself for any sort of mistake that I've ever made or any sort of trauma that I've ever faced, even when like these traumas have nothing to do with my bad decisions. Disclaimer number 2 is that I still don't know what I should do with my music. I still think like, well, what if I should just put something out on SoundCloud and focus on social media in general? What if that works now that I am skilled enough, now that I'm enough of a musician? And my brain, and after that my brain thinks like, okay, no, maybe you're gonna do that, but please put out some more concept stuff, put out a concept album. And then my brain goes like, what if you were born to write more bitch-esque, egocentric lyrics, more motivational ones, more, you know, scandalous persona-like ones, like, I don't know, What the Fuck Do I Know, or Midnight Sky, or In Nome del Padre by Maneskin, by the way. I definitely love this sort of topics, but I don't want to base my whole career on that. But people usually love shit like that. So yeah, I will definitely need some time to think thoroughly on what I should do. and I will definitely come to some sort of conclusion, and I do think that I'm extremely close to that, and I know what's gonna happen and what should happen, but I still need your help, I still need your support, so that I know that someone in this world needs my music. I do need your advice and your thoughts on what's happening, not in order to base my decision on that, I think, but in order to just have conversation with someone else except me and my like best friend, you know. So yeah, thank you. So here's just the whole thing I wanted to tell you about my story. Like, long story short, I was that one gifted, talented child who was a perfectionist and who could do anything in this fucking world, from tennis to chemistry to like studying any sort of shit to creating any sort of shit. I started writing poems at the age of 8. Like, yeah, I was a gifted kid, and I am still one, actually, and I'm still a perfectionist. The second issue in my life was that it was way easier for me to do something based on what other people need and not what I want. I craved for authenticity for my entire life. That was a very long, hard road out of hell, and I'm still fighting this issue, but now I can say that I succeeded in that. In contrast to, 10-year-old to 16-year-old me who just didn't have enough voice for that. And the most horrendous problem was that I was always asked for a plan for my entire life. Like, when I was 12 years old, I was told that I wanted to become a politician or journalist, and that I wanted to go to Moscow State University of International Relationships. When I was 14, I just got extremely fed up with that shit, and I switched to study more chemistry. And then my mother went like, it's so sad, we wasted so much time and we wasted so much money, and now we can do nothing about that. I hope you stick with chemistry for quite some time, with chemistry and neurobiology, actually. And then some extremely traumatic events happened to me, and just my entire life spiraled down. Like, every area of my life went really down. And after some time, I was still studying hard at that time, but then someone became fed up with me studying chemistry. Someone got fed up with me studying at school. I got fed up with chemistry. I've always been fed up with school, and I stopped studying chemistry that hard. And when I was 16 years old, I had enough voice, I had enough confidence to speak out about what I wanted, what I desired. And again, my dream has always been just to make music, make money on making music and stuff. To work, actually, not fucking study, though I am a fucking nerd. And when I came up to my mother wanting to have a conversation about not even dropping out of school, but homeschooling my senior year, I was told that I was gonna be literally no one if I don't study my senior year at the fucking Lyceum. So I had to make up an entire life plan and lie to everyone, and this made up life plan was like to prepare for some GMAT or IELTS and to enter the university in Finland and to work in Finland and to move to fucking Finland. I love Finland, but like that's not what I crave for actually, as you can get. And I lied to everyone, but ended up like not taking any sort of exams and just making music and working. So I thought that I had to have some plan when it comes to music, when it comes to what I do on social media. So yeah, I've been in this cocoon stage for a couple of years where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do something great. I've got a plan. I'm gonna do some great covers. I'm gonna release some great music. I'm gonna put out something really great. I was in this cocoon stage for a couple of years and I didn't do actually anything because I wasn't skilled enough when it came to singing or mixing or mastering. And when I put out my first cover, it was so horrible that I have most of my covers deleted from my channel because they were shitty, and the stuff that is on my channel, I'm just gonna remaster both covers and my own song We Won't Sin and then release it on streaming platforms, because yeah, I was in a cocoon stage. I was learning how to do shit, and when you tell everyone that you've got a plan when you're a beginner, when you're an amateur, it's never gonna fucking work. So that was the mistake that I made. I've been telling everyone for like it's 18 months, I think, that yeah guys, something great's coming. Nothing great happened. And then after these 1.5 years, I was like, hey, yeah, here's my great cover on Arsonist Lullaby by Hosier that I love because it finally sounds like my style, like my perception of the song written by the other person. So yeah, and I'm gonna put out my first album, and that was a mistake. I told everyone that I had a plan to release my own album. I fooled myself into thinking that I had this plan, and now I know that it's not the best idea. Let me explain why. My dream is to make a concept album. My dream is to talk about how fucked up society is, how fucked up social norms and morals and stuff are, how fucked up politicians are, how fucked up religion is, how is everything basically fucked up. So yeah, in the beginning of March, when I did have very tough couple of months in February and in March, like there was a situation that heavily triggered my PTSD, and I had blood clot like stuck in my arm, and that caused a blood vessel rupture, and the whole war thing started. And as a very empathetic Russian, I was very concerned about that. As a very empathetic Russian who fluently speaks English and had some plans to like work on an international level, I was very concerned about that. And I was very concerned about the people who like were injured and were murdered out there. So all this stuff, and also the other thing that made me feel really bad during those 2 months was that I spent fucking a lot of time talking to very stupid people who believed or acted like they believed that they were worth something great, that they were great. So one day I came home extremely angry, furious, I would even say, and my brain went like, I call audacity the immaturity atrocity. I hate the brightness of the light. So yeah, and that's how the concept was born. So my ideology is that we are never mature and we're never independent. Like the concept of full-blown maturity and full-blown independence, adulthood without any childish behaviors. It sounds a bit radical to me. It sounds a bit surrealistic to me. So I decided that I wanted to write and record and produce and put out an album called The Immature Disatrocity. And I wanted to talk about such topics as how even politicians can be very immature in some of their actions, how immature is many people's perception of religion, how immature is our society, how immature is our society's perception of society. So yeah, I was planning to talk about all these things and a couple of my own sins and a couple of things that I do regret, and probably a couple of things that like I wanted to get a bit vulnerable and frank in the end of the album. Like that's what everyone does. Just please let me do that. Stay hydrated. That's great. So yeah, I had this concept, and at first I thought like, yeah, that would be so great to release my first album and make it a concept album and make it like a 12 to 15 tracks concept album, and to change world for the better, or to just debate on something, or just discuss something. I'm not a great debater, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's just my low self-esteem. But now I realize that it's not the best thing I could do, because in order to be successful in music, you have to have a very good start. Look at Halsey, who became popular on the internet when she signed a contract with a label and put out her first album, her debut album. It was platinum. Look at Måneskin, who have been doing covers for a couple of years, and when they put out their original music, it was pretty successful. Look at, Billie Eilish and Phineas. They released Ocean Eyes, they released Don't Smile at Me, but as far as I know, When We'll Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go is considered to be Billie's debut album. And because she already had audience from her previous albums, she could talk about more different topics, Bury a Friend and Xanny and Listen Before I Go, or reading about different shit. And her debut album was without a doubt extremely successful. So yeah, there are a lot of fucking examples. And me being a perfectionist with a lot of ambitions, and me being kind of an intense person when it comes to, reaching something. I'm a fucking nerd, and I'm a fucking perfectionist. And if I don't succeed in something, I've wanted for my entire fucking life, that's not possible. I have to succeed. And now that I have worked on my self-esteem a lot, I know that I'm enough of the singer, I'm enough of the guitarist, I'm enough of the songwriter. I am enough to find my audience. I'm fucking enough to find my audience and succeed in the music industry. Though that's going to be extremely hard. So, and I have realized that if I put out self-produced concept album without having a contract with a label, that's going to be the worst failure in my life. I don't think I have to tell you, I have to explain you why I cannot let it happen. No, I'm gonna succeed in that. I want to make great music. I want to find people who have similar mindset to mine. I want to have success in music. I don't want to just be able to feed myself making music. I want to be memorized. I had a very fucking long monologue, like around 25 minutes long, about how I perceive covers, how I perceive music, how I think that true covers should sound like your own music. But I want to shrink this whole monologue to what I'm gonna do now. So I don't know whether I'm gonna post shit on SoundCloud or release my songs on all the streaming platforms. That's still a very complicated issue of mine. But anyway, I'm gonna make more covers. Definitely, I love covering songs, and I am skilled enough to do that. I'm gonna release my own songs. They're just gonna be, let's say, less sophisticated than something something extremely artistic. Those are just gonna be my songs in my style about the topics I love, but more pop ones, more digestible ones. That seems to be the best option. I apologize for telling you that I'm putting out an album that's called The Immature Disastrosity. I'm not putting it out now, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna ever put it out. Somewhere previously in this video, I told you that I learned one extremely significant lesson. I should never read too many comments on social media about me. I should never listen too much what people talk about me, because I was told a lot of things, even in my fucking not really big town. I shouldn't crave for people's attention and being likable, and I shouldn't be that much of a people pleaser, though that's something I was born with in some way. People obviously should like me in order to listen to my music, and that's something I should be concerned about, but not too much anymore. And even though I said that, I do need your advice. I do need your opinion on what I've told you. I needed your opinion on the song We Won't Sing, because that was my first experience releasing my own shit, and I wanted to know whether that was likable enough or not, whether you enjoyed listening to that or not. And I was so happy to find out that you enjoyed that. That was the best thing that could happen to me. Wow, I'm not the only one who loves my music. Woo, that's great. Music is the best thing to ever happen to me. I love making music more than anything fucking else. I love interacting with music more than anything fucking else in this world. I get very excited when I talk about music. Yeah, and I need your opinion and maybe even your advice now, because I've decided what I need to do right now, but I need your feedback to know whether that's too bad or not. I'm talking about this in a way I'm Miley Cyrus, and I'm I'm starting my whole career from scratch now. But no, I'm not fucking Miley Cyrus. I'm still in the very beginning of my music career, but it's just a changing point for me. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to come into my comment section or to visit my social media and to talk to me there. I'm open to conversations. Sometimes I struggle to open DMs and stuff, but I'm trying really hard to interact with you much more. Thank you for watching this video. It was very great to speak out on something that important. Bye, I guess. Was it the bad way to finish the video or not really? I don't know. Okay, so bye.